Hello class and welcome to lesson 2 where we'll be talking about trade-offs and opportunity costs and how they relate to one another and also how they're a little bit different. So a trade-off is when we exchange one thing for another. Every economic decision involves a trade-off that has costs. The cost of a trade-off is what you give up in order to get or do something else. Time, for example, is a scarce resource. There are only so many hours in a day, so you must choose how to use it. For example, if you decide that you're going to spend an hour hanging out with your friends instead of studying for economics, you lose out on an opportunity to study for the economics class, which comes with a cost. An opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative that had to be given up to do the chosen activity. Basically, it's what you lose when you make a trade-off. A good way to think about opportunity cost is to realize that when you make a trade-off, and you always make trade-offs, you lose something. You lose the ability to engage in the next highest value alternative. In economics, opportunity cost is always an opportunity that is given up. For example, if you decide to go to college rather than work after high school, you're giving up the opportunity to make money right away, which would be the next best alternative. Look at the quote. In order to buy a house, you're going to have to pay a steep mortgage, which means that the opportunity cost is renting a house, which means you don't pay quite as much money, but you don't own it either. An automobile company may manufacture several makes of cars per plant in a given year. What this means is the company produces combinations of goods which result in an opportunity cost. Economists call this model the production possibilities curve, which is the maximum combinations of goods and services that can be produced from a fixed amount of resources given a given time period. Production possibilities curves determine how much one item can be produced, revealing trade-offs and opportunity costs. For example, for a car company, if they made, say, luxury cars, trucks, and SUVs, they can only make so many of each one, so they have to decide how they're going to use their resources and allocate them in order to make each good. The most common example of how the production possibilities curve works is the guns versus butter example. It illustrates the trade-offs and opportunity costs when trying to produce military goods versus civilian goods, an issue that was extremely important during World War I and World War II. Look at page 18 of your book in figure 1.14. And you'll get a really good example of how the production possibilities curve works.